सर वीडियो भी चलना है ना?
यस 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 महेंद्र भाई, आप दिख रहे हैं, बराबर दिख रहे हैं। यस
Mahendra ji, you may start reading. The video is done.
Okay.
Hmm.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am CA Mahendra Singh Rao, moderator of this webinar. We welcome you all in the webinar being organized by the Continuing Professional Education Committee, ICI. Uh, Capital gain
Progress.
on securities, cash transactions under Income Tax Act. In short, while we now I would like to appraise you about the CP committee. The role of chartered accountant is evolving continuously to accept new responsibilities in dynamic global environment. The future of CA profession depends on being flexible and open to innovation. Therefore, the need of the hour is to innovate as per the requisites of contemporary business environment and accordingly upgrade the curriculum and education system of the chartered accountancy course. The committee also believes that the members of the ICI should look beyond the traditional areas of practice and seek and explore new areas of business and profession. And hence, the CPE committee is mentoring the members by providing guidance through various workshops, seminars, national conferences, background materials, etc. And simultaneously by encouraging young and dynamic professionals to grow as a speaker, master of the ceremonies, etc. in the CP programs. The program for this evening is as follows. We have two sessions, each of 1 hour, and the topics are first GST notice DNA, and the second one is capital gain on securities and cash transactions under income tax. Our eminent speakers will talk about above mentioned two emerging areas of professional interest. Before starting of the session, I would welcome Chairman Sir, Chairman of the CP Committee, C. Purushottam Khandelwal Sir, and I would like to give a brief introduction of Purushottam Khandelwal Sir. Purushottam, he is the chairman of CP, as I have already told, and vice chairman of the committee for members in entrepreneurship and public service and convener of RBA Directorate of ICI. He's having a 25 years of post qualification experience in the field of audit, direct and indirect taxes, and intellectual property rights. This year, he has devoted to fortifying CPE framework and guaranteeing quality across its entire operational spectrum. And this year, major focus would be on upgrading of the CPE portal for enhancement of the branding and professional competency of the members. Now, I would request Purushottam sir, can you please give a few welcome remarks, sir?
Good afternoon,
Good
respected faculties for this technical session. Praveen Sharma ji, second faculty Abhishek Jain ji, vice chairman of this committee Gyan Mishra ji, moderator and my dear friend Mahendra Singh ji Rao, office of the CP committee, and respected member. First of all, I wish you happy New Year's because this is the first program after Diwali, and today ICI is celebrating the birthday of our beloved President Aniket Talati. So in Gujarat, no working is there. Everybody at home. After Diwali, office will be open on La Pacham only. So all this office will be available, member will be available on Monday only. So I am also in the holiday. Mahendra Bhai is also in the holiday. So we are not working. The Gujarat is very fond of a holiday and they are aware. They are moving around the country with the family. But my committee is working Even though there is a Baidus and holiday at Delhi, I thanks to Payalji and the entire team of Ajit Naji, those who are organizing this programs live. So everybody knows that these two topics we have selected, one is the GST and other is the capital gain. Both are a very important topic. After GST came into existence on the 1st July 2017, the people were filing return anyway. They were very happy if the return is uploaded. But after uploading return, now the notice is coming. So Praveen bhai, you are here to apprise all the member how to deal with the notice. So your right is kept in a DNA. So it's very important for members. So how to deal with the notices, because it's not a like that service tax or a sell tax. It's a state. We have to deal with the state department, but now it's deal with the state and central both as both. And the two huge department involved is the dealing with the notice. So it's very important. Please analyze a complete notice how to deal with the notices. Other faculty, Abhishek is a very intelligent faculty. He's also my friend. The capital gain after this year, the very huge land transaction is there, building transaction is there. So capital gain come into picture. So he will apprise about the capital gain. This year, as the Mendra rightly said, my committee is focused on the technology, and we have started to implement the technology. And ICI also implemented the technology. This year we have started to inform each and every members that how much CPF you have completed, how much you have to be completed before the December. So we end of the month we are sending a little information to all the members. And if the members is find it's correct, please appreciate. If you find there is some kind we can improve, we will happy to improve you and happy to listen to your suggestions. So I will not take much of time because many members are also busy watching the semi-final of India versus New Zealand in the Wankhede Stadium. Still, those who are fond of knowledge, my committee is ready to provide the knowledge. Thank you so much. I hand over charge to the Mahendra Singh ji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your uh, warm welcome. And before inviting Praveen sir for the session, I would like to give a brief introduction of Praveen sir. As he is a chartered accountant, he's an having a immense knowledge of 14 years on the indirect taxes and SME consultancy. He's a recognized faculty of ICI for indirect taxes, and he has addressed the certificates and advanced courses of ICI and other institutes on GST. He has also provided GST training to officers of 32 states and has delivered more than 500 lectures. And also thank you to Praveen sir, who has accepted this, given us an opportunity to listen him today, even though there is a semi-final match.
He's also devoted
Sir
time.
has accepted
Thank you,
our
Praveen
request.
bhai.
Yes,
I
sir.
say
Thank
is
you so much.
obliged. Yes.
And over to you, sir. Praveen sir.
Thank you, Mahendraji. Good evening to all the esteemed members. Again, a very thankful to the chairman, vice chairman of the CP committee, and all the committee person who are present over here on this beautiful day after the festival Diwali. So, still, Rohit and Gil is firing, and we are hope so
Just
कि
throw it
India
out
will
at
win.
50-47. Rohit is out now. The
Rohit Alon.
Kohli is
Virat.
came in the pictures. I am watching the
I
TV
hope
also.
so. I hope so. I would deliver in such a way so that in a 1 hour we would fire as much as possible and gain the
Definitely.
knowledge on a very fire basis.
Yes.
So we have a limited time, 3 to 4 p.m. devoted to me. So I have to deliver my lecture in a best possible manner so that 1 hour devotion will become in an effective and efficient manner in our practical scenario basis. So I'm sharing my PPT so that it would be easier for the viewers to understand the topic given to me, the DNA of GST notice. GST notice DNA. So we are about 6 years after the GST implementation. In these 6 years, we have checked many compliances, many non-compliances in the organization, like many form of the GST notices are coming. 2-3 hours There is a difference between 3B and 2B. One of the major differences. There is a difference between 1 and 3B. So these are the two important notices you are getting or you would get in coming scenario. First of all, this is my book. If you have any requirement of such, please give a call to me or say hi to me. I would definitely help to reach the professional of this book. Initiation of litigation. So notices come into the picture in the adjudication process. We know very well in the service tax also, in the VAT also, in the excise also. So show cause notice is the first process of the litigation under in any taxation system of India. Can there be recovery without show cause notice? There are two scenarios in GST, or many of the scenarios are. Union Budget 2022 has made one of the changes in Section 75 in self assessment. What it says, whenever there is a difference between 1 and 3, the tax liability. Whenever there is any difference between related to the tax liability of GST 1 and GST 3B, it means if, for example, there is a 1 lakh rupees taxation tax payable in GST 1 and I have reported 80,000 in my GST 3B. So there is a difference, positive difference. One is excess of 3B. So there can be recovery without issuing of the show cause notice. Is it valid? Because in the initial 3 to 4 years, we have seen so many times that supplier has filed its GST 1, reported their liability, but somehow he or she mistakenly, intentionally, or misinterpreted short tax paid in GST 3, leaving it to many of the litigation process is started because supplier has not filed 3B, supplier has not tax paid in GST 3B, or not paid even a single rupee in GST 3B. There can be many circumstances that there is a 2A 3B differences. 2A 3B differences is okay. There is no mismatch in 2A 3B in case where the supplier has filed his GST 1, but 3B has not filed. 3B has filed, but taxes has not been paid. So 16 16(2)(c) of the CGST Act is affected, and many litigation are still pending related to the 16(2)(c), Section 16(2)(c) of the CGST Act. So over to my topic. Can there be recovery without issuing any show cause notice? Yes. So there are two systems at present started on the GST portal under the written menu. You have to go log in under the written menu, check the written compliance, whether DRC 01B or DRC 01C is issued. In case of DRC 01B, it means there is a difference between 1 and 3. Whenever any difference between GST 1 and GST 3B, the portal itself will send the intimation to the taxpayer that there is a difference. Explain such difference within a period of 7 days. If your reply is not satisfactory or you have not paid the taxes within a period of 7 days by filing DRC 03, then the recovery proceedings shall be initiated under Section 79 instead to issuing the show cause notice. But we have two more judgment over here, LC Infra Project and the Mahadev Construction Company, that says there can be no recovery without show cause notice. But although the provision has been implemented in the law, in the GST law, because GST Act is different from any other law. GSTN is going differently, law is going differently, portal is going differently, an officer is involving in such a scenario that recovery proceeding shall be initiated without issuing any show cause notice. But there can be show cause notice related to the GST 1 and GST 3B differences. Next, the adjudication order cannot go beyond the show cause notice. See, whenever there is any difference between 1 and GSTR 3B and show cause notice has been issued under section 73. But the order itself is beyond the show cause notice matter. The subject matter must be same. If the subject matter is different, you have to challenge either the show cause notice or the adjudication order, whatever in any form, that there is the subject matter is different. There can be scenario that, see, there is a difference between 2 and 3. ASMT 10 has been issued. You have replied in ASMT 11. The officer issue the ASMT 12. So subject matter is closed. Now, show cause notice under section 73 has been issued dated 28th of September 2023 related to the another subject matter. There is, say, there is a difference between 1 and 3B. Or you can see these are the HSN code on the basis of which you have claimed the ITC in your GSTR 3B, which is not permitted, which is block ITC. So there is a subject matter different related to the ASMT 10 show cause notice, but subject matter can be same. ASMT 10 is just like an intimation. Show cause notice under section 73 is the adjudication process, the first process itself. So we have two things, 73 notice and the 74 notice. Two types of notices you will find or you are finding in your GSTR portal. Another thing, the recovery should be checked whether in these cases recovery proceeding shall be initiated or no. Why show cause notice? Why show cause notice? क्यों show cause notice issue होता है? So the proper officer. So we have to check who is my proper officer. Go check under the login, under your profile. There is a jurisdiction. If there is a there can be two jurisdictions, central jurisdiction or the state jurisdiction. Wherever you are finding that this is the red color center jurisdiction, so your officer will be under the center jurisdiction. If red highlighted is the state jurisdiction, then your officer, your proper officer would be the state jurisdiction authority. Further, you have to check the proper officer definition under the GST Act and related circular that who is my proper officer. So, if you are finding that he is the person or this is the person issuing the show cause notice to me is not my proper officer, first challenge the show cause notice that the notice is invalid notice. So, the proper officer must be your proper officer as defined under the CGST Act as per the circular notified related to the proper officer. So, there can be multiple scenario. Someone has been issued by the DGGI or the someone has been issued by the Anti-Evasion Authority. But the adjudication process would be initiated by your proper officer only. So the proper officer under the GST may serve the show cause notice to a person by these reasons. Your taxes has not been paid. You have taken the refund erroneously, intentionally, or the input tax credit wrongly availed or utilized. So there can be three scenarios. Under section 73 or 74, there can be multiple scenario, non-compliance of the act. See, in 2017, 18 or 18, 19, 18, 19, there can be the e-way bill. So first thing, in 17, 18, no e-way bill, no invoicing. You will find in 2018, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21 onwards, there can be multiple kind of the notices would be issued. E-way bill is not done. E-invoicing is not done. So better always comply with the requirement if not done. Although e-way bill time limit has been gone, but e-invoicing time limit is still there. So you have to comply with the e-invoicing also. So non-compliances, evasion, access ITC, frauds committed, fake invoicing, billing, ineligible credit. These are the multiple kind of the show cause notice can be issued by the department under section 73 or 74. Now, who is my proper officer? Under section 291 says, in relation to the function performed under this act, means the commissioner or the officer of the central tax or the state tax is assigned that function by the commissioner in the that scenario. Relevant circular, kindly noted, you will get the PPT, circular number 3 by 3 of 2017, amended by circular 31st of May 2018, that appoints the deputy DC, AC is the proper officer to perform a function under section 74, or the superintendent of the central tax or the state tax, the BATO, the officer to perform the function under section 73. So, this is the notice. Under the notice, firstly, you have to check who is my authority, who is my proper officer. Check the file number, check the DIN number, check the DIN number validity, check under which section notice has been issued, the facts on the basis, the alleged offense on the basis of which the SOCO notice has been issued, the kind of the tax, interest, or penalty is being demanded, whether it's in the proper format. What is the proper format? DRC 01 is the proper format. Can the SOCO notice be issued offline or online? Any other mode? Offline can be, online can be, but it should be electronically mode only. Can there be on the common portal or not on the common portal? There can be on the common portal. Firstly, there are two things. If the online SOCO notice has been issued, you have to reply online. If the offline SOCO notice has been issued, you have to reply offline. But reply is must. See what happened. SOCO notice has been issued in September 2023. The due date of passing the order related to the 17-18 period is 31st of December 2023. Right. If the reply has not been submitted, or the reply is not satisfactory, then the demand order shall be issued related to the tax, interest, and penalty. You have to pay, you have to reply within a period of 30 days from the issue of the SOCO's notice. Section 73, where it appears to the proper officer, where it appears to the proper officers. Proper officer we have checked. It appears to the proper officer. It means the proper officer must have the reason on the basis of the offense that the SOCO notice has been issued. But we have seen in September end, you are filing your tax audit, but on the second page, you have checked SOCO notice has been issued to the taxpayer. SOCO notice has been issued to the taxpayer. Reply within a period of 30 days. SOCO notice has been issued. So, these are through the AI-based SOCO notice, because AI check. There is difference between 1 and 3B. There is difference between 2A and 3B. There is a difference between GST 9 and GST 3B. If there is no GST 9, then there is a difference between 3B or 1. So the AI base has checked that there is something not match. If not match, then in just one click, notice has been issued to the multiple taxpayer in the September 2023 end. But we have, again, we have to reply in such a way, explain in such a way that these are the reconciliation. 17-18 period, there is a difference between 1 and 3B. But sir, we have paid the taxes of 17-18 period in 2018-19 GST 3B. And we have disclosed, we have reported in my GST 9 in table number 10, 11, and 14 of GST 9. Data is your key. If the data is not there, if the reconciliation is not there, no person can help you to end the adjudication process. So, 2017-18 period notice has been issued in the 2023. So it means 6 years has been passed. 6 years has been passed. If the data is not there, How long you have to maintain the period of retention of books of account under the GST? 6 years. In income tax also, in GST also, in Companies Act also. So you have to maintain the data in such a way of the period wise. Say for October 2023, I filed my GST at 3B. On what basis? It's there in October 2023 folder. Data is your key. If the data is not there, you cannot fight legally, you cannot fight technically, you cannot fight in a court of law. You have to prove again with your data only. Again, over to my topic, where it appears to the proper officer that any tax has not been paid, short paid, erroneously refunded, input tax credit has been wrongly availed, other than by fraud, willful misstatement, or suppression of fact. It means there is mistakenly I have taken the input tax credit. Mistakenly, taxes has not been paid, not intentionally. So 73 notices related to the non-fraud cases and 74 notices related to the fraud cases. What show cause notice contains? It contains the show cause notice number, obviously, the reference number, the file number, date of issuance of the notice, the name and address of the recipient, the GST registration of the recipient, what the are the offense violation in the show cause notice. The provision of the GST law under section 61, 73, 74 type of the show cause notice section under which show cause notice has been issued. The deadline is must. आपको कितने पीरियड के अंदर शो कॉज नोटिस का रिप्लाई करना, रिप्लाई विद इन ए पीरियड ऑफ 30 days. There can be sufficient time to reply. Is 7 days reply is sufficient? Yes or no? No. 7 days. Today is Choti Deepavali. Notice has been issued. Next day is Badi Deepavali. Next day Govardhan Puja. Next day Bhaiya Dooj. Next day notice comes into effect to my desk. I have printed the notice, checked the circumstances, checked the allegation. So 7 days notice is not enough. At least sufficient time to reply the notice must be given by the proper officer. You have to check each and every particulars in the notice and challenge it by giving your reply. Next, consequences for not replying to the show cause notice. If you have replied within a period of 30 days from the date of issuance of the notice, then the tax and interest can be demanded. If 30 days expires, one of the thing. Second, the reply is not satisfactory, then tax, interest, and penalty can be demanded by the proper officer by issuing DRC 07 order. And the last date of issuing the DRC 07 order is 31st of December 2023. So we are now 15 days of the November and 31 days of the December to file the reply within a period of 30 days. So replies must. Person hearing must be available by the department, by the officer. If the PH is not available, if the PH is not put on the show cause notice, then ask for the PH. Ask for the person hearing that I have to explain my reconciliation over to you on the basis of which the alleged offense has been issued or contained in the show cause notice. Ask for the PH. Reasons. What are the reasons on the basis of the show cause notice has been issued? Delay in filing of the 1 or 3B, obviously. Mismatch in 1 and 3B. Delay in filing of 1 and 3B means in most of the circumstances I have checked in 2 or 3 notices or 5 to 6 related to the first point that GSTR1 is timely filed, but July 17 GSTR 3B is filed in January 18. August filed in January 18. September filed in February 18. October filed in March 18. So what does it mean? It means late fee has already been discharged by filing GSTR 3B. But see, for example, there is a tax of 1 lakh plus 1 lakh plus 1 lakh. 3 lakh of tax, July, August, September. Return filed in January, February, March 18. So you have filed late. There is a cash payment outstanding in GSTR 3B 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh. No credit ledger balance. No excess credit. There is a liability, positive liability payable in GSTR 3B in these three tax period. But we have filed or you have filed your GSTR 3B in January, February, March. What does it mean? You have filed late. There is a positive liability, cash ledger positive liability. So whether interest demanded by the taxable, the department is okay. Obviously, yes. Interest can be demanded by the GST department. So the delay in filing of GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B can be one of the reason contained in the show cause notice. Interest can be demanded. If the tax is short, tax also can be demanded. Mismatch in GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B, show cause notice can be issued. Whether Section 79 recovery proceeding can be initiated without issuing show cause notice? Yes. In the second point, I've already explained to you that whenever there is any mismatch between 1 and GSTR 3B, it means one liability is 1 lakh, GSTR 3B liability is 80,000. So there is a positive difference of 20,000. So intimation can be issued under the return compliance menu DRC 01B if to reply within a period of 7 days. आपको यहाँ पे 7 days के अंदर reply करना है. 7 days के अंदर reply. You have to reply within a period of 7 days. If the reply has not been filed within a period of 7 days or reply is not satisfactory, taxes has not been paid, then recovery proceeding can be initiated. Show cause notice can be issued under Section 73, but recovery proceeding can be initiated without issuing show cause notice. Further, you are not able to file GSTR 1 of the subsequent tax period. This can be changes in the Rule 59(6). ब्लॉक सप्लायर को यहाँ पे ब्लॉक करके रख देंगे. Mismatch in GSTR 1 in e-way bill portal, also 17-18 period is over. No e-way bill. Somehow, last 2 months or 2018-19 onward, e-way bill has come. Then there is a difference between 1 and e-way bill portal. In 1920, 2021, 21-22, they can be multiple or reason can be affected. 1 and e-invoicing failed to obtain the GST registration even when applicable. So on the basis of 26 AS, I have checked that you have reported in your profit and loss account about 70 lakhs of the commission income, on the basis on which the TDS is deducted by the deductor and the tax has been deducted, reflected in 26 AS. Why this income is not to be treated as the aggregate turnover for the purpose of taking GST registration under Section 22. And you have failed to obtain the GST registration. Why the tax cannot be demanded on these 70-75 lakhs of rupees of amount? Also, obviously, and interest cannot be demanded. So reply within a period of 30 days from the date of issuing of the show cause notice. Otherwise, the tax or interest and penalty can be demanded by the tax officer and the DRC 07 order can be issued in future. Mismatch. ITC claim between GSTR 3B and 2A, 2B. Also, in 17-18 period, 2A was there, but 2A is just a facilitation as per Honorable Supreme Court in the case of the Bharti Airtel case that 2A is just a facilitation. So, for example, you have received the Shoko notice related to the 1718 period that there is a difference between 2A and 3B. For example, 2A figure reported as 1 lakh, 3B figure reported as 2 lakh, 1 lakh 50,000. So there is a difference between 50,000. You have taken excess credit in your GSTR 3B as comparative to GSTR 2A. What will be your answer? The answer can be, Sir, Sarkar, I have taken or availed the ITC on the basis of the books of account I prepare, on the basis of section 16, 17, 18 of the CGST Act, along with the rules thereunder. I have satisfied section 16.2 of the CGST Act. I have satisfied 16.4 of the CGST Act that I have the tax invoice. I have received the goods or services. Supplier has filed GSTR 3B. There is 2A is not at the time of financial year 17-18, or 2A is just a facilitation. There are many cases. DY Bethel, Kerala High Court, Madras High Court, LGW Industry, Kolkata High Court, Arise India Limited, Honorable Supreme Court. There are many cases prevailing that why the recovery proceeding can be initiated against the buyer wherever there is a fault of the supplier. पहले तो supplier को लेके आओ, supplier से recovery करो, then comes to the buyer, then comes to the purchaser, and recovery action taken against the purchaser. And if the supplier has not paid the taxes, why the proceeding can be initiated against the buyer? So many cases prevailing or would benefit to the taxable person, not in the case of a Shoko notice, but you have to reply in such a way that these case laws or facts in my cases are similar enough so that it would be benefit in my cases, or it would be benefit in my adjudication process also. Non-payment, short payment of the GST, wrongly availed ITC, wrongly claimed, anti-profiteering cases, non-furnishing of the return within the time limit, non-compliance with the invoicing in future, invoicing and the e-waybill amount doesn't tally, in future will arise, multiple Shoko notice can be issued. Reply failed. आपने reply नहीं किया. Imposing a penalty 100% in the demand order, initiation legal proceeding, recovery proceeding, disqualifying the taxpayer from availing the ITC. ITC can be blocked, suspended registration can be done, cancellation can be done. So these are some of the draft notices I prepared in the e-data book. You can check in our edatabook.com draft notices. You will find multiple draft notices, more than 100 draft notices for your ready reference. Rule 142. So after 73, you have to read the 142. 142 says about the form under which Shoko notice can be issued. So DRC 01 is a summary of the Shoko notice, and DRC 02 is a summary of the statement of the Shoko notice. Whenever you are finding that notices has been issued, you are you finding that there are two documents available on the portal. One is DRC1 and one is DRC2. Summary of the notice and the summary of the statement. So again, rule 142 1A, most important, and the proper officer may, before service of the notice. What does it mean? May. For the period 9th October 2019 to 14th of October 2020. So there is a period of 1920 period. Oh, sorry. 1920 period and 2021 period. Two periods are there. Two financial year periods are there. 9th of October 2019 to 14th of October 2019. In these period, the proper officer shall, before issuing service of the notice to the taxable person, communicate the details of any taxes in Part A of the DRC 01A. What does it mean? What does it mean? It means with within this period, 9th of October to 14th of October 2020, the proper officer shall issue DRC 01A before issuance of the SHOCO notice under section 73 or 74. It means the pre-SHOCO's notice. Rule 142 1A says pre-SCN, pre-SHOCO notice must be given to the taxable person that these are the differences. Please come and pay the amount in order to avoid the litigation in the future. But the government changed the word, replaced the word with the may. So it's now the officer discretion. Now the officer discretion to service the notice without issuing DRC 01A. Or it is on the discretion of the officer, or if proper officer अगर चाहे तो skip कर सकता है DRC 01A को भी. So at present अगर आपको लगता है कि 1920 का ये जो पीरियड है, इस पीरियड के अंदर आपको अगर प्री एससीएन नहीं दिया गया, आस्क फॉर द प्री एससीएन अंडर रूल 142 1. चैलेंज दी शोको नोटिस दैट मुझे प्री एससीएन नहीं दिया गया. What is form DRC 01A? Again, the first need to communicate the details in part A of the DRC 01A. It means what is the process? Pre-SCN, then 73 or 74. Pre-SCN, then 73 or 74. After 14th of October, only SHOCO notice. It is the officer discretion to issue the pre-SCN before issuance of the SHOCO notice. But again, you have to challenge in your reply. What is the purpose of issuing the SCN before issuing of the SHOCO notice? So that information must be communicated to the taxpayer that these are the some of the differences, these are some of the amount on the basis of which the notice can be issued. Otherwise, pay the taxes or explain the differences in your reply. Summary of the SHOCO notice. What does it contain? The details of the person, the tax period, brief facts of the case, grounds under which the SHOCO notice can be issued, taxes and other due, interest, penalty, and others. These are the summary of the SHOCO notice. Time limit to issue the SHOCO notice. In the case of the bona fide defaulter, mistakenly reported, then 2 years, 9 months from the due date of the annual return of the relevant financial year. 2 years, 9 months from the due date of annual return of the relevant financial year. What does it mean? It means annual return due date से आपको 2 years 9 months के अंदर आपको SHOCO notice देना पड़ेगा. And the annual return due date of 2017-18 period, 5th of February 2020. Right? No. Let's see. We have a chart. So before issuing any proceeding to the chart, firstly, we have to check. In the case of the bona fide defaulter, section 73 notice, 2 years, 9 months from the due date of annual return. And the case of mala fide defaulter, under section 74, 4 years, 6 months from the due date of the annual return. These are the date of the SHOCO notice. Order means after 3 months or after 6 months, you have to pass the order. 17-18 period due date is 5th February 20 or 7th February 20. The above table related to the first table is related to the section 73. and the second table is related to the section 74. So it means 1718 period, annual return due date is 7th of February 2020. Shoko notice can be issued 30th of September 2023 on the basis of the latest notification passed in dated 27th of December 2022, on the basis of which the 30th September is the due date, and the due date of passing the adjudication order is 31st of December 2023. Similarly, 2018-19 due date of notice 31st December. For 1920 due date is 31st of March 2024. It means on the date of the 31st of December 2023, expected that there is a show cause notice of 89. And similarly, order of the 2017-18. And you are on 31st of this March 2024. एक तरफ से आपको ऑर्डर मिलेगा, दूसरी तरफ से नोटिस मिलेगा. One hand, you are finding that the order has been issued related to the previous year. Another hand, you are finding or check that the notice has been issued related to the next year. So litigation process has already been started in the GST. Check the notice applicability, the grounds, the alleged offense, the time limit of reply, the day number, the challenge. Reply is must, challenge through it. Who is my proper officer? Sufficient time not available. PH is not granted, etc., etc., etc. The next table is related to the 74 Shoko notice issuance and related adjudication order. These are the sequential form of the DRC. So DRC 01 has been issued, the summary of the notice. Next, the summary of the statement also been issued in DRC 02. You have to pay the taxes along with interest in DRC 03. On the basis of DRC 03, acknowledgement has been issued in DRC 04. If your reply comes and reply is satisfactory and taxes has been paid and or taxes has been paid, then the conclusion of the proceeding can be initiated in DRC 05. Your reply against the DRC 01 in DRC 06, online reply must, if the show code notice comes online, then reply is not satisfactory, tax has not been paid, then summary of the order has been issued, DRC 07, dated last date related to the 1718 period is 31st of December 2023. Passing of the order, rectification can be possible by the GST officer in DRC 08. So these are the sequentially filing of the DRC for your easy benefit purpose. These are some of the section 73 or 74. If notice has been issued and you have paid the taxes and interest, no penalty can be demanded. Payment within a period of 30 days show notice agar aapne kar diya hoga. Payment after 30 days of notice, under section 73 again penalty cannot be demanded, but under section 74 penalty can be demanded. If reply to the Shoko notice has been done or the document has been submitted and DRC 07 has been issued, then the tax, interest and penalty can be demanded. 100% of the tax can be demanded in the adjudication order. So under the services menu, under GST login, check view addition notice and order. You will find these are the screenshot in the view additional order that these are the notices as being issued. Replies must, again the left hand side menu, notices replies must, again online, against the show cause notice has been issued. What are the features? What are the features or importance in a show cause notice? It should be in the proper format, right? DRC 01, DRC 02 in the proper format only. If it's not in the proper format, then reply notice is invalid. It must be within the time limit, means 30th September 2023 for 1718, 31st December 2023 for 1819, and 31st March 2024 related to the 1920, related to the section 73 notice. 74 can be issued afterwards because there's a limit of 4 years, 6 months. Not to be issued in a routine manner, which are done dated 30th of September 2023. Allegation in the Shoko notice on the basis of the RUD relied upon document. On what basis the alleged offense, the on the basis of which the Shoko notice has been issued. DIN number must be mentioned through the circular number 122 and 128. So in the case of the CGST officers, DIN number is mandatory. You have to check the DIN number is valid. In the case of a state officer, DIN number is not also practically implemented. Issued by the proper officer. Proper officer I have defined, or you have to check under section 291 that who is my proper officer. Handling of the GST notice again is an important task in GST DNA. Read the notice carefully, take the printout of the notice, check the alleged offense, check the reference number, file number, DIN number, dated, facts, circumstances. Under which section notice has been issued, the alleged offense, the time limit to reply the Shoko notice, what are the action demanded, reasons stated in the issuance of the Shoko notice. You have to carefully understand the thing. Determine the allegation specified in the notice. Gather all the relevant documents, records available with you because data is the key. If the data is not there, you cannot fight or survive in long run. Prepare a written response to the Shoko notice. Draft reply already been shared in our edatabook.com, or you can ask for the draft reply and submit your response to the GST authority within the time specified in the notice. Hurry of the Shoko notice. Principle of natural justice must be prevail. So, for your easy reference purpose, because we have a limited time, red highlighted thing we are reading now, an opportunity is required to be given to make the personal hearing to the taxpayer and submit the reply to the Shoko's notice. An opportunity must be given. Dharamshil Agency versus Union of India. That pre-SCN, not only the substance, but can also run contrary to the purpose and objective of the master circular. It means pre-SCN can be issued despite clear mandate regarding the pre-SCN, because the government has changed the thing in such a way that may replace the word shall. And pre-SCN cannot be issued without issuing SCN. But this is my right. This is my legal right under the constitution that pre-SCN can be issued before issuing of the Shoko notice. Nanne Lal Munna Lal cases, again, मुझे principle of natural justice दिया जाना चाहिए. Opportunity can be given to me. Agro-metal vendible. The proper officer should inform the dealer that if he would pay the taxes, otherwise department would issue the notice under section 74. SSB petrol product held that the issuance of DRC 01A is mandatory before issuing of the proceeding or pass the order under section 73 or 74. Swati Menthal, again, Gorkha Security, the fundamental purpose behind the serving of the Shoko notice is not to be meet, and he gets an opportunity to submit the same. So these are some of the case laws that would help in your reply that personal hearing is mandatory and principle of natural justice must be prevailed by the department. OPCSS solution, Agarwal dying, means the reasons आपने नहीं दिया. Reasons are not mentioned in the notice. Alleged offense is not mentioned in the notice. The reasons are the hurt in soul of the notice and the order and communicate the same to the taxpayer. Shoko notice without RUD relied upon document is violative of the principle of the natural justice. It must be prevail. MR Metal versus Deputy Commissioner. My appliances. Only if incompetency of the authority is established through the statutory provision, the writ can be entertained and not otherwise. Metal forging. It would be futile to contend that Each and every communication in order could be construed as a show code notice. But some of the related to the proper format of the GST notice. Sufficient time. SSA is given को उसको sufficient time दिया गया मणिकरण रविचंद्रन के अंदर 4 days का. 7 days, again 7 days is not enough. You have to give at least 30 days to reply to the show cause notice. NTC Industry Limited versus State Tax Officer. It cannot be demanded as an empty formality. You should be given sufficient time to the SSC, to the taxpayer to reply in an effective manner. Not a valid ground. 26 years is not a valid ground, but can be demanded. Hindustan Coals Corporation revenue must carefully take into the consideration related to the valid ground. Radha Krishna Industry, important judgment. Devi Trader, DRC 01 must be issued. In this matter, ASMT 10 has been issued related to subject matter 1 and 3B, and DRC 01 has been issued related to the subject matter different from the ASMT 10. So it can be issued. ASMT 10 to DRC 01 way, that is the court says it is a traitor law, Gisa Peta Kanun, that if the law itself prescribes the method and procedure to perform the compliance by the pre-SCN cannot be issued. Univer Textile, Century Plywood. I am reading some important case laws. The last one. The order of the Honorable Supreme Court of India in the case of State of Maharashtra versus Suresh Trading Company applies in case of retrospectively cancellation of supplier or where there is a in default of the supplier. Retrospectively cancellation, on-quest merchandising, DY Bethel Industry. These are some of the case laws that will help in your reply. And some of the important case laws in my last PPT. Arise India Limited, Honorable Supreme Court has decided that there is no fault of the buyer. Why the tax has been demanded against the buyer or the purchaser. Similarly, in the case of a Suresh Trading Company, if the supplier registration has been cancelled retrospectively, but at the time of transaction, likewise in the case of LGW Industry, the court says at the time of transaction with the supplier, the purchaser or the buyer or the recipient has taken the transaction, supplier registration was active, proper payment or the tax payment has been made through the banking channels only, and goods and services has been received. So there is a sufficient condition satisfied by the recipient, by the buyer in order to avail the ITC, and you have to clear your mandate in such a way recovery proceeding cannot be initiated against the buyer. Bharti Airtel case, Honorable Supreme Court has decided that two-way just a facilitation. And for the 17, 18, 18, 19, there is no two-way. There is no two-way. So I have claimed the ITC on the basis of section 16 only. There is no two-way formality. There is no 16 BA and 16 AA of the CGST Act. That comes after the picture in 2020, 21 or 22. Diva Bethel Industry, again the Kerala High Court says it would be where there is any fault, there is no fault of the buyer. Why there is a tax has been demanded against such buyer or the recipient? Ask the same from the supplier. If because taxes has been paid, either supplier or the recipient to pay. First, to check with the supplier to pay the taxes, otherwise recovery proceeding can be initiated against the recipient if the taxes has not been paid by the recipient to the supplier in the proper banking channel. So thanks to the committee, and this is my number. You can say hi to me, my WhatsApp number, my Telegram channel, and over to the moderator, Mahendra Singh ji. So I've completed my topic in a timely manner. Over to you, sir. Sir, you are muted, sir.
Mahendra ji, you are on mute mode.
Sorry, I was mute. Thank you so much, sir, for deliberating such a valuable session, sir. And एक्चुअली आपने जितनी भी पीपीटी शेयर की सर, विच वर सो रिलीवेंट एंड यूजफुल, वो डीआरसी 1 से 8 की थी, टाइम लिमिट से रिलेटेड है, ये सब अभी बहुत ही रिलीवेंट और बहुत यूजफुल है। और एंड मेनी प्रोफेशनल्स आर फेसिंग अ प्रॉब्लम ड्यू टू सच अ शॉर्ट टाइम लिमिट। मेरे क्लाइंट के केस में तो सर सीधा डीआरसी 22 इशू कर दिया विदाउट इशूइंग अ शो कॉज नोटिस।
ओह।
तो वो केस में फाइट करने गया, लेकिन क्लाइंट वाज सफरिंग बिकॉज ही कुड नॉट हैव जनरेटेड ईवी बिल एंड ऑल, तो उसका बिजनेस टफ हो रहा था। बट आफ्टर आई वेंट टू ऑफिसर, ही अंडरस्टूड द प्रॉब्लम कि इट वाज हिज मिस्टेक,
यस
डायरेक्टली
यस।
उसने रिकवरी प्रोसीडिंग स्टार्ट कर दी, बैंक बैंक अकाउंट फ्रीज कर दिया।
So we have to fight on the basis of again the facts and circumstances. क्या facts हैं,
Yes,
क्या circumstances है, क्या alleged offense है.
द क्लाइंट वाज वेरी जेन्युइन सर, क्लाइंट
Yes yes.
जेन्युइन था। उसका प्रॉब्लम ये हुआ था कि 2 महीने के उसने रिटर्न नहीं भरे थे, but instead of giving a serving a show cause notice, immediately recovery proceeding start कर दिया।
Yes yes. Anyway.
सर एक क्वेरी था,
Yes sir.
जीएसटी, बट दिस इज रिलेटेड टू जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन, कैन आई आस्क यू?
Yes yes sir.
सर किसी ने पूछा है कि जीएसटी फॉर अ जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन एसएससी has purchased a commercial property and receiving a rent of rupees 3 lakhs per month, but due to a court issue, property is not registered in the name of SSC, and the rent, he's regularly receiving a rent from the tenant, but GST cannot be received, registration cannot be done because the bill is coming in the name of a GHMC municipal authority. After paper mutation and no electricity bill is available, so how can he register in GST? Is there any other way to register and the client is ready to comply?
Sir, again, this is the technicality. I have to check each and every document कि whether the rent agreement has been there or not, electricity bill in the name of the landlord is there, is not. So again, registration process is not as same as that in 2017. Same नहीं है,
Right.
क्योंकि we have seen in 4 to 5 years multiple supplier registration has been done without checking any inspection. So multiple registration has been done, retrospectively cancellation has been done. So right now under rule 8 or 9, government is strict enough. We are not giving GST registration if the ownership is not proof by the GST registration authority or the GST registration taxable person. हम रजिस्ट्रेशन नहीं देंगे अगर आपने ओनरशिप को प्रूफ नहीं किया। आप कहीं भी जा करके आपको प्रूफ लाने ही पड़ेंगे, अदरवाइज वी विल नॉट issue the GST registration certificate. So this is the technicality, and we have to proceed with another.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for the session, sir. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. Thank you, Abhishek ji.
Thank you, Praveen Bhai. So, such a nice deliberation it was. Even this is again a demand of our, I believe. And the viewers, those who have joined and listened, you very carefully. It's
Yes.
really amazing, as usual.
Over to you, sir. Mahendra ji.
Yes, sir. Before inviting Abhishek, sir, I would like to give a brief introduction of the sir. Abhishek sir is a chartered accountant, and he has delivered more than 200 sessions on the tax matters on various platforms across country in last 2 years. He was honored by various government, private, and social organizations for a contribution in the field of taxation. He has also contributed in finalizing of internal audit checklist published by ICI. Over to you, sir, Abhishek sir.
Thanks a lot, Mahendra Bhai. And it's again on the day 15th November, that is a semi-final one going.
Semi-final, yes.
And it's again being a professional, we need to serve the society and in the benefit of the society. Even though India is going great,
Going great.
still we need to finish as fast as possible and in a great sense. And that today's topic. And thanks a lot our CP committee, Purushottam sir, and all the organizer, and you as well, Mendra bhai. You are here.
Thank you so much for deliberating a session in this festive season and semi-final, World Cup
Exactly,
semi-final.
exactly. No, without wasting much time,
Yeah,
uh,
sure, sir.
we are going ahead with our topic. First is related to security, and the second is related to cash transaction. I believe most of us, even most of our clients, are regularly doing this type of transaction. Specifically, if I talk about our security transaction, and I believe those who have joined and witnessed the same, out of 100, probably 70% of our client are dealing in derivatives, dealing in future and option securities, etc. So again, after coming of 26 AS or AIS, now we are able to see the bulkiness of transaction done by our clients. So even our guidance note 2023, some clarification has also been given with respect to securities. So it is very important to have an understanding of these type of transactions as well as the cash transaction. So I'm just sharing the slide with all of you. Wait for a while. I believe it is visible to all of you. Moving ahead,
Yes, sir, visible.
thank you. First of all, very important for all of us to know, taxability of shares normally depends upon the following factors. Time period involved, as we know, how to determine long term and short term. It is very important. I will not take much time on that. We'll have some brush up on this particular point. The nature of the person, general dealing in shares. Like if someone want to trade, even in Sachin Tendulkar case, it was well decided that if intention of assessee is to trade in shares, then it will be treated as the business income. Or if he's adopting as an investment and declaring income on transaction in the return as a capital asset, then definitely it will be treated as capital gain part. Third, the nature of transaction. Definitely, we have a number of sections like 111A, 112, 112A. So these type of transaction and coming under different section have a different taxability, right? So we need to understand all these things. I believe all of you know on this part, the section 111A, short-term part 112, 112A. Right. So I'm just moving ahead. Short-term capital asset. One thing that make it very much clear regarding the mutual fund and other asset. First, 36 month is the foremost criteria, but still on the following asset, 36 month. If any asset is going assessee holding any asset more than 36 months, then definitely it will be a long-term capital asset. But in the following cases, security, including shares, listed, unit oriented fund, zero coupon, units of UTI, it will be a 12 months period that will decide a long-term or short-term. Right? If more than 12 months, definitely it's a long term. So I will not take much time, just brushing it up. As far as 24 months is concerned, that is related to 2-share unlisted share. Reason being, it is very important. See, friends, now, as the time of filing the return, we have been asked to fill foreign asset details, right? I believe a number of transaction has been captured in this particular, for this particular schedule FA. And when I have released my this video related to FA, I have received number of calls across the India. Even notices, show cause notices, summons has been issued related to these type of transactions. So very careful as far as FA schedule is concerned. And secondly, it is most important thing is the shares which is allotted by the foreign company. Most of the times foreign company are normally not normally, it will be treated as the unlisted shares. So we should be very well aware about the 24 months concept. To decide the holding period, we need to take care of 24 months, right? So unlisted shares of a company. Then immovable property, always earlier the period for the immovable property was 36 months. Now it is very much clear. When we talk about the security, it is very much clear in the capital. In chapter, security means debenture, bonds, government security, derivative, etc. Share means equity and preference. Right? Now the most important part, the bold part, which I am going to read. I forgot to carry my pad along with the pen, but still trying to figure it out, this particular part. Hence, unlisted securities other than shares, because shares have been covered above. Units of mutual fund other than equity oriented fund, clear it. And units of business trust shall be short-term capital asset if these are held for not more than 36 months instead of 12 months. It is very much clear. So this is the important part. And what is the long-term? Those who are those assets which are not short-term. So no need to discuss further. Important thing is to instruction 1826 and the circular 6/2016. I will read for you. I believe I have copy of that. So what this particular section say, this particular instruction says, I will even let you know. I'm just trying to take all of you through that particular circular. Very important circular. We should read that particular circular in the interest of the wait for a while. I will just stop sharing and will open this particular slide. And I believe this circular is in front of you. See that these ABC and 4 and 5th point. This is very relevant. Here it, where the assessee itself, irrespective of the period of holding, the listed share and the securities ought to treat them as stock in trade. See, where the assessee itself, irrespective of period of holding, the listed share and the security ought to treat them as stock in trade. The income arising from the transfer of such share and securities would be treated as the business income. Clear, very much clear. We need to go through it. If someone wants, I will send it across to you. We'll share the details of mail ID. And the second part, important part, if in respect of the listed shares and securities, mind it, this is listed shares and the securities held for a period of more than 12 months immediately preceding the date of its transfer. If assessee desire to treat income arising from the transfer thereof as a capital gain, the same shall not be put to dispute by the assessing officer. Meaning thereby, if assessee has decided how to treat the transaction, then it will be on the assessee. But still, see the next part. However, this stand once taken by the assessee in a particular assessment year shall remain applicable in subsequent assessment year also, and the taxpayer shall not be allowed to adopt a different contrary stand in this regard in this subsequent year. Friends, this is very important. Right? So it's on the assessee. If assessee decide, then he do not have alternate option in the subsequent year. So be careful while opting. It cannot be like that. Sometimes it happens for the capital gain, sometimes it goes for the business income. Not that. So this circular says, so the test regarding quantum transaction intention, earlier some decision was given by the various judicial proceeding, that by this way we need to decide, by this way we need to decide, we need to see the intention, we need to see the holding period, etc. But by this circular, this particular dilemma has been removed by the instruction given by the CBTT. Right. Perfect. So now, if I say nature of transaction, then business versus capital gain, I have already cleared this particular scene that if assessee has decided to go for as a stroke in trade, then he can show as a business. If he decides that he need to show as an investment, then he can go for the capital. It's upon the assessee only. Right. Now, very important. Business, whether speculative or normal. Right. Now, very important. Speculative transactions, meaning thereby whether derivative transaction are treated as a speculative transaction. Absolutely yes, not at all, because the definition given for the derivative, I believe 245 somewhere in section, that it is clearly mentioned that the following transaction will not be part of the speculative transaction, right? Then derivatives, commodity derivatives is one of them, right? So meaning thereby their transaction in the derivatives like future, option, etc. will not be treated as speculative, meaning thereby the income generated from the derivatives will be treated as the normal business. So it is very much clear. So what will be the speculative? We must say intraday. Yes, absolutely intraday. Speculative transaction. So what about derivative transaction? Right. Derivative transaction, as in the normal course, I will take you through with the guidance note as well, 2023. That is very important part of our discussion. Derivative transaction. See, first of all, derivatives, I have make it clear that in derivatives, future, option, etc. will be covered. Then we need to, for as far as turnover is concerned, right? Turnover, what will be the turnover? Turnover will be plus or minus sign, meaning thereby if you have gain in particular transaction, let's say future transaction 100 rupees, and you have a loss in the second load 20 rupees, right? Then this total of both will be treated as turnover as far as this particular transaction in securities derivatives part for the tax audit purpose. Friends, I want to make it very much clear. This is given in the guidance note only. Nowhere else it is given, specifically in the act itself. In the act itself, it is nowhere mentioned that you need to go through by this particular methodology to determine the turnover. And this particular part has been challenged by various judicial authority on the matter that we will not agree. We are not agreeing with your argue, right? But time to time, even I believe 100% case decision of the cases are given in the favor of assessing only by taking care of guidance note issued by the ICA. So there is no dilemma in this part. Even whenever department wants to challenge this particular methodology, they can, right? That's why number of times our assessee got notices regarding the calculation of this particular turnover. Right, right. So one important part. Now, as far as derivative transaction is concerned, one question in my mind, can we go for 44 AD as far as our derivative transaction is concerned? Can we go for that 44 AD? Definitely answer is in yes. We can go for 44 AD, right? For derivative transactions. Now, question arises, if we want to go for 44 AD part, then whether do we need to prepare balance sheet for the entire transaction? Definitely, you need to go for section 44 AA. If it says assessee need to maintain books of accounts, definitely you need to go through that. How to present Derivative part in the income tax return, that is again a separate issue. We are not dealing with that part in this particular session. Now, as far as derivative is concerned, what happened? Sometime assessee on the 31st March have open position, meaning thereby transactions are not squared off on 31st March year ended. So what we need to take care of while filing our return, and it was not addressed by our earlier guidance note except guidance note 2023. The main theme of 23, I will take you through with these points. Please be with me. Very important part. Even though tax audit we have done for 2023 ended, but still for year ending 24, we need to take care of these things. So the new guidance in para 5.10b provides that the turnover or gross receipt, irrespective of the transaction in derivatives, specifically it covers these transactions only. So it is important for me to have some light on this particular part. Future and option is to be determined as follows. Favorable, unfavorable, as we have discussed a few seconds before. The first point is the total of favorable, meaning thereby plus gain, and the unfavorable minus differences shall be taken as turnover in case of squared of transactions. In case of squared of transactions, then what about those who are opened on the 31st March, meaning thereby those transactions which are not getting squared at the year end. In case of an open position, mind it, this is the new insertion. At the end of the financial year, that is trades which are not squared off during the same financial year, the turnover from the said transaction should be considered in the financial year when the transactions has been actually squared off. Very much clear. We are not bothered about open position at the year end. We need to take care only when these transactions are squared off only. In the case of delivery-based settlement, in a derivative transactions, the difference between the trade and settlement price shall be considered as turnover. Mind it, further in the hands of the transferor of the underlying asset, the entire sale value shall also be considered as business turnover where the underlying asset is held as stock in trade. If you are treating these assets as a stock in trade and you are selling it off, definitely the price turnover will be considered the entire sale value. The premium received as far as option is concerned, that will be included in the turnover. In respect of any reverse trades, difference there should also form part of the turnover. Most important part is para 5.10b of 2023 guidance note clarifies that the above guidance for the determination of turnover is only and only for the purpose of computing turnover for the tax audit. If I ask one question, that we need to determine turnover for the purpose of 44 AD. We have three words over there. Even tax audit itself. Then turnover definition, what will be the turnover? We will not consider the entire discussion that we have done so far as this slide is concerned. This turnover is only for the purpose of derivative, future and options, and for the purpose of tax audit only. It is very much clear. Even there are a number of changes in the guidance note 2023. I have covered these changes in my YouTube channel. But still, this particular relevant topic that is related to securities, we are discussing right now. Now, ESOP and RSU. This is very important thing. And as I told you, there are number of notices given to the assessee for the FA part, for the ESOPs, for RSUs. Sir, what will be the difference between ESOP, RSU, one major difference, ESOP employee stock option plan, restricted stock unit, right? I must say most of the time ESOP has been given on a relatively lower price, and RSU are given without charging any money from the employees. Normally, ESOP are given by the domestic companies, and RSU normally given by the foreign companies, right? But as far as tax treatment is concerned, definitely we will not make any difference in both of them, right? So we should be careful while giving advice to our clients as far as SOAP and RSU is concerned. The reason being, if you see the presentation part of FA, 10 lakhs rupees penalty. I remember, and I believe all of you must agree with my point of view. At the time of filing, last date, 31st July, number of times they have flashed this message that you need to declare FA. Otherwise, penalty of 10 lakhs rupees will be there. If you can see the Twitter handle of the income tax department. So few clients just rang me up, Abhishek ji, what happened? Even whether we have declared properly our RSUs, and so they were much curious what it is exactly. So there are number of tables where we need to show the entire particulars of ESOP, RSUs, that is not ESOP, RSU specifically, because these are the foreign asset and specifically for the resident individuals, right? Resident, ordinary resident. Resident, non-ordinary, not required to fill the FA. I believe it is very much clear. These dates are very important as far as taxability is concerned. Grant date, that means the date of agreement between the employer and employee, the option given by the employer that you need to purchase, and then vesting date, the date the employee is entitled to buy shares after satisfying condition agreed upon. Vesting period, the time between the grant date and the vesting date, that is the vesting period. I believe all of you know. Exercise period, meaning thereby when vesting date has been given and it is opted by the exercise date, meaning thereby when employee exercise the option, or exercise period, when one stock have vested, the employee now has a right to buy. Until unless it exercise the right, it is called the exercise period. Once it is exercised the right, then this is treated as exercise date. And exercise price, meaning thereby the price at which employee exercise the option. This price is usually lower than the fair market value, as I conveyed. Normally, in case of ESOP, or it is given as a lower price. Taxability, there are 2 points. At the time of exercise as a perquisite, and at the time when you are selling it off in the market, that will be treated as capital gain. When you exercise, then it will be taxable, right? And the perquisite value has been added to the Form 16, right? Fair market value, exercise price. The difference of both will be added as a perquisite in our Form 16 computation, assesses Form 16 computation, right? One part. And the second part, when assessee going to sell it off, then that particular part will be taken under the capital gain, normally in normal course. I remember in 2020 Finance Act, specifically in case of startup, those startup friends, one important Majedar thing. Normally we say the assessee who has taken the DPIIT registration is called the startup. No friends, no data. Those first is DPIIT registration. Second is it's a ISC, ATISC registration. If assessee is not taken under ATISC registration, then they will not be treated as will not take benefit of startup, like this particular provision which is introduced in Finance Act 2020. see, from Finance Act 2021, an employee, because there are a number of startup in India right now. I am also taking care of almost 8 startup in compliance part. So an employee receiving ESOP from an eligible startup need not pay tax in the year of exercising the option. Here we have seen exercising the option. In startup, normal startups are issued ESOP to the employee because of the loyalty, and the person who is receiving the ESOP, they will be taxed as per the present scenario of the compliance or the tax law. As per the present scenario, if I talk about the before 2020 period, then whenever they exercise, they need to pay the tax. Or most of the times, let's assume an assessee has been given option to exercise in the month of February. They have given 1 lakh share, 5 lakhs, 500 each. See, multiply it, 5 crores, right? Then what will happen? I believe 3-4 months salary will go, because they need to pay the TDS, and that TDS will be deducted from the salary of the employee. So it's again a very harsh provision as far as a startup is concerned. Even I must say this particular provision should be for all companies for deferment of the taxability. So what deferment says, if any startup, those who have registered under ATIAC, right? ATIAC, the assessee has now option, not option, the taxability of ESOP will be according to these parameters. They will defer the tax to the earlier of the following. First, expiry of 5 years from the year allotment of ESOP. From the expiry of 5 years from the year of allotment done in 2023, then up to 5 year 2028, right? Date of sale of ESOP by the employee. Date of sale of ESOP by the employee. If assessee sell the ESOP, then it will taxed immediately. Third, date of termination of the employment. If assessee is leaving the organization, then this particular trigger point will hit. Then whichever is earlier, expiry of 5 years, date of ESOP, sale of ESOP, and termination, it will be taxable. Not immediately when he exercised the option. Now, this is at the time of sale by the employee as a capital gain. I already conveyed this particular part. Right. There are certain advanced tax. I don't taking this particular point here only, because we all know about the advanced tax part. Yes, definitely. Perquisite, security, the holding period, section, rate. Definitely, I'm just taking through in a very fast way. And it is very important. If you want to take a snap of it, you can take. Type, securities other than a unit listed in a recognized stock exchange. 12 months holding period to determine the short term and long term. Section will hit 111A 15%. Security other than a unit listed in the stock more than 12 months, then long term 112A, above 1 lakh, as you know, over and above 1 lakh, up to 1 lakh, there is no taxability. Above 1 lakh, 10%. Unlisted shares till 24 months. I have already conveyed that particular part when we were discussing about the ESOP, RSU, FE. Short term slave rate, right? Short term slave rate. Unlisted share more than 24 months, long term 20% with indexation and 10% without indexation. This is the crux of the securities taxability. I believe it is very much helpful for all of you. So I am just taking now the case transaction because we have limited times, and I will surely wrap up before the time. So this is for the security part, derivatives, normal transaction, intraday, and about the presentation part, definitely we should have a separate session, how to even disclose if someone want to treat as a business income, whether you need to show the balance sheet, P&L, how to present them in ITR, that is again a separate issue. Now I am just taking the case transaction. I believe most of you are aware about the case transaction, but still, as far as topic is concerned, we need to cover that part, 269S, T, and many more section. I'm just going to open that particular slide. Wait for a while. I believe it is visible to all of you. Now, see, in this particular part, that is the case transactions, we will discuss person who enters into a transaction that 269 ST, that 2 lakhs rupees limit. There are 3 incidents over there, event based, price based, etc. We will discuss that part. Accepting certain loans, deposit and specified sum under 269 SS. Again, repayment of certain loan, even we have tax audit clauses on these particular points or sections. Repayment of certain loans related to 269 SS, that is 269T. Cash donation exceed 2 lakhs, 2,000 rupees, right? Capital expenditure for business in cash above rupees 10,000. Cash payment, as we talk about the 40A3. See, this is very 269 ST. Sale goods of 5 lakhs in cash, then what will be the impact? 5 lakhs in cash. See, the I need to go through with the first of all this particular section. No person shall receive an amount of rupees 2 lakhs, mind it is 2 lakhs or more, in aggregate from a person in a day, in aggregate from a person in a day, or in respect of a single transactions, right? And C, in respect of transaction relating to one event, like let's assume one event, we can pick the event as a marriage. Event manager are taking care of the entire decorating, music, dance, etc. That event particular. The new case transaction limit is not applicable if a person received the amount through an account pay check, account pay bank draft, use of electronic clearing system, right? We all know. So this is again a restriction on receiving, mind it, on receiving of rupees 2 lakhs. If you are paying to someone 2 lakhs, that is altogether a different part. Here we are talking about no person shall receive an amount of rupees 2 lakhs. Even there is a clause in the text report as well. So see, in aggregate from a person in a day, let's assume Mr. Mahesh sell mobile phone of rupees 2 lakhs to Mr. Ajay. First of all, whether this will come under 269 ST or not. Payment done, that is irrespective. Right? Payment done, that is this part. On 19th April 2020, 50,000, 50,000, 50,000, 50,000. Same day. So in a day, aggregate from in a day and 2 lakhs or more. Right? So in a case, whether this particular section will be applicable or not. So I believe all of you on the same page, that is yes. There will be a penalty under 269 ST 100%. Right? In respect of a single transaction, let's assume here in aggregate from a person in a day, it was aggregate in respect of a single transaction. Let's assume single transaction, one hospital bill is there and the amount has been paid on a different date. As you can see from the slide itself, that is on 19/4, 1,50,000, 24, 1,50,000, 21st/4, 1,50,000, and 22, that is 50,000. All total of all will be 5 lakhs. So whether this particular transaction will cover under the 269 ST or not? What will be your answer? See, this is with respect to a single transaction, because the bill is a single transaction from the hospital of rupees 5 lakhs. Single bill. If there are a different bill, those are not equal to 2 lakhs or above, then there might be a different situation. Right? Yes, 269 ST will be applicable. Now, one interesting part. सर शादी है, सर गिफ्ट तो मिलता ही है, कैपिटल तो बढ़ी जाएगी. Most genuine question asked by the SSC, by the youngsters. So gift receipt in a marriage. See that what I have written over here. On various dates, gift received from relative. Total gift rupees 9 lakhs. But single gift did not equal to or excess rupees 2 lakhs. Whether 269 SST applicable or not. Mind it, very important and genuine question. In a marriage, let's assume one of your friends got married, and you are the money collector at that moment of time. होता है ऐसा, दूल्हे के साथ एक कोई रहता है जो केश पकड़ता रहता है. So at that moment of time, no one has given cash over and above 2 lakhs and equal to 2 lakhs. So question is, but overall gift received was 9 lakhs rupees. Someone given gift of rupees 20,000, someone given 1,50,000, 1 lakh, and so on. Whether 269 ST is applicable or not. The answer is yes. Reason being, this is in respect of the transaction relating to one event or occasion from a person. Friends, most of the times ऐसा एडवाइस कई बार हो जाता है, या एसएससी इंटरप्रेट कर लेता है कि मैरिज के समय तो जो मिलता है उस पर टैक्स तो लगना ही नहीं है. क्यों? रीजन बीइंग सेक्शन 56 itself says कि वो जो गिफ्ट है वो टैक्सेबल नहीं होगा. पर व्हाट अबाउट दिस पर्टिकुलर 269 ST? So be careful. Not for marriage while accepting the gift and showing it. Most important is showing in the return. Accepting the gift is not at all an issue. Issue is showing in the return. So no matter some points from the 269 ST, no matter whether receipt is for personal. अच्छा सर, वह शादी तो मेरी पर्सनल थी. शादी तो पर्सनली होती है, दूसरे की होती नहीं. Not related to business. Whether this particular 2 lakhs limit will be applicable? Yes. This is nothing to do with business or not. Mahendra bhai, it's not like that. Sometimes it happens. Most of the youngsters, those who are going to get married, I have often this type of question कि सर अब तो शादी होने वाली है तो वो कैपिटल तो बढ़ ही जाएगा.
राइट सर, इसमें तो छूट देनी चाहिए.
I need to check the time as well. Hope we are playing well. Payer of money is not liable to pay any penalty. Absolutely, this is on recipient, not a payer side. It is the receiver who really collect the money. Nothing to do with the payer. And one important thing, as I told you in my earlier slide, that account pay check, electronic or account pay bank draft. These are the channel from where you can accept the payment. Otherwise, bearer check and the self check will also be considered as part of the cash-based transaction. Reason being, this particular जो bearer check and etc. self check are I believe in most of the section it is treated as cash only. Like in our explanation, which is given on 44 EB, that is 5% part. That if you are not fulfilling that particular 5% part, then you are not assessee are not required to get his books of accounts audited if turnover is 10 crores. But where the explanation has been added, that bearer check will also be considered as a cash
At par
purchase.
with cash.
Yes, you will be careful. Now 269 SS, I will take all 3 4 points very fast. So this is again mode of taking or accepting certain loans. Again here, I am not talking about the person who are paying the loan. The next section that we will discuss, that will be on that part only, those who will repay. Repay, right? The word which is used, the repay, not paying this. So mode of taking or accepting certain loans, deposit and specified sum means receiver of the amount, the person who will really hit by this section. Now see, then again, Mr. Raj given loan of rupees 24,000 to Mr. Pandey. As we all know, 100% penalty on whom? Oh, Mr. Raj, not at all. The person who is receiving Mr. Pandey.
Racing.
24,000. Let's see the last paragraph. If Mr. Pandey already have 8,000 loan and again taken 18,000 loan in cash, then what will happen? Whether this particular section will hit? Yes, this section will hit. We need to take care of the opening balance as well. Even we have separate clause for this particular presentation of 269 SS and ST and T as well. We need to show entire whether even in that particular clause we need we have been given particular choices whether it is account paying from ECS etc. We need to select the most even related option only. No person can accept any loan. See, deposit or specified sum. I will take you through with the specified sum of rupees 20,000 SS or more, otherwise than by way of account pay check or an account pay bank draft, right? This is fine enough. We have seen the most important thing is the specified sum. Sometime what happened in, I believe, 2015, before 2015, I believe, there was no restriction. Even year I exactly not remember, even capital for that capital transaction, I believe 2015, there was no restrictions. So specified sum means any sum of receivable, whether as advance or otherwise in relation to transfer of an immovable property, whether or not the transfer take place. Meaning thereby cannot accept specified sum. If you are selling the property, let's assume 10 lakhs rupees, if someone has accepted that 10 lakhs rupees in the cash, there will be a great problem. This specified sum is only denotes to the immovable property transactions. Right? So this is, you need to be very careful. Even nowadays, registrar itself have some checkpoint like TDS challan, etc. Whether cash, what is the amount of cash transaction, etc. Even there are no barred in accepting cash in the agreement itself. Registrar cannot say that you cannot accept or give amount in a cash. You need to be very careful. So there is 100% penalty, right, in these type of transactions. In most of the rural villages, even I have received a case 2 years back, perfectly hit by this particular section, because in a rural area they don't understand the entire thing. They usually done the transaction the cash only. So that's why again it's and registrar need to report the entire thing to the department. And nowadays entire thing is reflecting in our AIS. So there is again a great problem. The provision of this section, this particular section that we are reading out, shall not apply to any loan or deposit or specified some taken or accepted from, or any loan or deposit specified some taken or accepted by the government, any banking, मैं fast cover करता हूँ, any corporation, establishment, government company, right? Such other institution, association, or class of institution does in official gazette, those are notified. So here, this particular clause will not be applicable. And then repayment transaction as far as 269T is concerned. Now, Mr. Pandey, those who have taken the loan from Mr. Raj are now paying it back. Mr. Pandey repaid the loan of 24,000. See, 100% penalty. At the time of accepting, at the time of repayment. Right? Very important. No person shall repay any. Just summarizing the entire main point of this particular section. No person shall repay any loan or deposit. Let me hit the virtual pen. Any loan or deposit made with it or any specified advance received by it. The word which is used over here is repay any loan. Otherwise, then by an again account paid check, account paid bank draft drawn in the name of the person who has made the loan or deposit or paid the specified advance, or by use of electronic clearing system through a bank. If the amount of the loan or deposit or specified advance together with the interest, if any, here you need to club the interest as well, payable thereon is 20,000 or more, as usual. If you are doing that, meaning thereby 100% penalty of the amount that for which the transaction has been executed. It is very much clear. Cash donation, nowadays cash donation even very risky thing. As far the question arises, can I give a donation of rupees 10,000 in cash? Can I give? The question comes in mind. Yes, of course you can. There is no barrier. But still, can I take the deduction under section 80G? No, not at all. You can take only up to 2,000 only if you have given that particular donation in cash. If you are giving through by the check, account pay check, then there is a no worry. And nowadays, 10D, 10BD, there are a number of compliance that we have as far as trust and the institution is concerned. So be careful, those who are dealing, specifically our professional friends, those who are dealing in trust, registered trust, and filing return and doing audit, you should be very careful as far as these compliance is concerned. ATG, I have already taken that particular part. Capital expenditure for the business in cash, can we do? Yes, we can. There is no restriction at all. So what will be the impact if I'm incurring expenditure for my computer, 30,000 in cash, and what will be the consequences? Definitely. What will be the consequences? Depreciation will not be available on that particular part. Right? In very simple way, depreciable asset purchase otherwise than by account pay check draft system through bank account exceed 10,000 rupees, that particular payment will not be considered part of cost of asset, and the depreciation, hence depreciation will not be calculated on that particular part and not available for the deduction. So again, a drawback. Even this is not a revenue expenditure, that's why no disallowance as far as 40A3 is concerned. This is again a capital part. Such a payment shall not be eligible for normal additional depreciation. Additional depreciation are like plant and machinery, right? So that will 20%, that will not also not available. Business related expenditure, we all know that 10,000 rupees cash part we cannot incur for particular expenses. Let's take an example. If I I have two bills. Let's assume bill number one. Please be with me. Just last example. Let's assume 8,000 rupees. Please bear, I am not carrying the digital pen
It's
right now.
fine, sir.
At 8,000, the number two bill is again 7,000 rupees. Now, 7,000 rupees. Now, from the same person, let's assume AA is the person who is selling it out. Now, in a single day, I will make the payment of 15,000 in a cash. Now there will be disallowance or no. One question arises in my mind. In a single day, same person from let's stationery वाला is there. जिससे मैंने स्टेशनरी परचेज किया, दो बिल दिया, एक बार उसने हमारा किसी पेन का दे दिया, दूसरा कुछ और स्टेशनरी का दे दिया. नाउ क्वेश्चन अराइज दैट 15,000 पेमेंट हैज बीन मेड इन अ सिंगल डे, बट फॉर द टू बिल्स. So whether there will be any disallowance or not. So
Yes.
So the answer is no. Reason being the section start with an expenditure. So expenditure will be one only. If there are two different expenditure, then definitely this disallowance will not be there at all. Right? So we are just reaching the 5. So see, if salary paid in 15,000 cash, then no deduction allowed for the expenditure, right? If stationery purchase 12,000 in cash, raw material, any provisions, as provision says, see, any expenditure, this is the main, any expenditure, meaning that this is a singular one. This is the singular one. Which payment or aggregate payment made to a person in a day exceed 10,000 and this payment is made otherwise, then no deduction shall be allowed in respect of such expenditure. That's why this is the word which is written over here is the any expenditure. That's why the example which I have taken in my last slide, this is because of this particular one expenditure which is used in our section 48.3. That's why this is not at all a disallowance under section 48.3. So 48.3, there are a few things that I have extracted there in case of payment made to flying, hiring, leasing जो carries वाले हैं, that is the 35,000 10,000 के अलावा हो गई. Provision of section applies in respect of expenditure which is to be claimed as a deduction under section 32-37. Right? These are the sections where our expenses are allowed, specifically allowed. Right? 37 is a general section where nowhere else mentioned any expenditure, nowhere else any mention, then it is allowed under section 37 only. Otherwise 32-36 are a very specific provision given to a particular expenses. If aggregate payment in a day, otherwise than by account pay to the same person in respect of an expenditure 20,000, it will be disallowed. I have already been covered. And the second fourth point, for the two different bills, those are below the 10,000 rupees and you are making the payment to a person in the same day, that will not be disallowed. Yes, definitely. If one bill is over and above 10,000 rupees, then that there will be a disallowance under section 48.3. Right? Acceptance of payment through prescribed electronic modes, because number of times we have seen that you can accept the through by electronic mode. We need to be very ensure to our client as well that what is the electronic mode is concerned. Every person, there is a section 269 SU, every person carrying on a business and having total sale turnover exceeding 50 crore in immediately preceding financial year is mandatorily required to provide facility for accepting the payment through electronic mode, in addition to facility for electronic other electronic mode provided by the such person. अगर ये ऐसा नहीं करता तो 5,000 रुपए की penalty. Right? So these are the sections where a specified business, I believe all of you know 35 AD. Under the provision, if certain conditions are satisfied, the assessee engaged in the specified business are eligible for deduction under section 100%. Right? In few cases, there are now, earlier it was 150%, but now it is restricted to 100% of the capital expenditure. Right? No deduction under section 35 AD shall be allowed in respect of payment and aggregate payment per day made to a person against such expenditure in cash in excess of 10,000. Meaning thereby, specified business like beekeeping and like our some other, if I remember, beekeeping and hospital, 300 seat hospital, etc. Number of, I believe, 10 to 12 business are there under section 35 AD, specified business. So these are the section that we need to take care of as far as dealing with the cash price. 50C, that is the related to real estate. I am not bothered about taking this particular section right now. That's it from my side for the related to our securities transaction and the case transaction disallowances. Thanks a lot from my side on this particular day where the semi-final has been placed by ICC, and hope for our win, and we will again see our team India in the final and holding the cup in our hand. Thanks a lot from my side. Thank you, Mahendra Singh Bhai, for your consistent viewing the entire deliberation of Sharma Bhai and mine as well. Thank you. Thanks a lot once again. And thank you, the committee.
Sir, दो queries हैं. Can I
Hmm.
ask you?
Yes, please.
There one query. If capital gain beyond 1 lakh is
Hmm.
invested in government securities, whether tax benefit is available?
Capital gains beyond 1 lakh. This depend upon, let's assume if you are having gain from securities, then you have section available, sections 54 EC, section 54F as well, to invest in particular thing. 54 EC in a specified bonds and 54F in a residential house. You can save it up.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And there is another query. If intraday is from future or option, then also the same will be treated as a speculative. Whether it will be treated as speculative, as one of a client is dealing in the trading through derivatives, and turnover value is above rupees 1 crore. Whether he need to declare 6% upon failure to tax, tax audit needs to be done or not.
I believe there are two questions in that. First is the intraday, second is the derivative. Intraday
Yes, sir.
is again a different speculative transaction, right? So intraday is speculative transaction. And the second is derivative. Derivative formula, we need to take care of the entire formula like favorable, unfavorable. Then we need to figure it out whether our favorable, unfavorable are exceeding the limit is specified for 44 EB or 1 crore or 10 crore, whatever it may be. And the second important thing, you can take the benefit of our proviso of 10 crores rupees, because in particular in derivative intraday, your cash expenditure are not at all exceed the 5% and the
5%.
receipt 5%. So you can take the benefit, always take the benefit of that particular tools. So I believe in your case, audit are not required at
There is
all.
no need to audit of
Uh,
in the turnover of
okay.
1 CR. Okay, sir. There is one more question. Another question. SSC sold two plots to different persons on one day and received rupees 1.9 lakh from X and 1.50 lakhs in cash from Y. Will 269 ST applicable?
269
Two
ST.
different properties sold on the same day to two different people, and the amount is below 2 lakhs from each one of the buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Whether 269 ST will be
No,
applicable or
if there are two different transaction, then each transaction, each event will be separate.
separately treated. So it will not be attracted. And there is another question, sir. The gold ornament received in kind from close relative on the occasion of marriage or post-marriage functions, anniversary or anything, worth more than rupees 2 lakhs. Is
Hmm.
269 ST applicable?
This is on case transaction. First of all, one thing is the case transaction. Second,
Okay.
receiving ornament from the as a gift. That is, this is again not a cash part. And movable property, immovable property, well taken in section 56, if you are receiving from the relative, irrespective whether in the occasion of marriage or
Or not?
not taxable at all.
Okay. From not from relative or from some close friend, then it
If,
will
if
be tax.
Yes, if you are receiving from a close friend, then definitely you need to take care of that particular 50,000. If the value, fair market value of mobile property is exceeding 50,000, then
50,000, then it will
definitely
be
you will
taxed.
come under the radar of Section 56. If you are receiving that, then you need to show under income from other sources.
Okay, sir. It's over. And thank you so much for deliberating such a nice, valuable session, sir. आपने आपके टॉपिक पे अच्छे से बैटिंग किया, यहाँ पे इंडिया अच्छे से बैटिंग कर रहा है.
I'm just rushed to see that
It's 290 to 1.
292 or 1 over.
41 overs में.
Great, let's show. Thanks a lot. All the
Thank you so
viewers.
much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you once again.
Nice hearing you. Thank you.
Thank you.